Hey everyone, welcome back. Maureen here to give you more mind-body resources for knowing yourself for wisdom and wellness and to lift that heavy weight of being human. Everybody needs help being human, no matter how successful financially or otherwise you are, how strong or weak. Everyone needs help lifting that heavy weight of being human. In our culture, we're not given a lot of tools to do that, and not a lot of information and focus is on that. It's on everything out there on the external landscapes of achievement, competition, ignoring our stress, powering through, getting to the end goal, and sort of not paying a whole lot of attention to the journey or the process of learning, and certainly not appreciating and enjoying that process. Okay, so I am going to talk a little bit about how I ended up leaving education. I'm going to continue to read from the preface of the classic Wisdom for the Modern Human, a self-study guide for wellness that I wrote. I'm starting with mind-body resources by sharing my own experiences and my own products. I've turned this book into the self-study guide into a self-study course at landscapesforlearning.com, so you can check that out if you're interested. I would suggest getting the book, doing the course, following these videos, and getting the most out of them you can. All of it will be asking you to direct your attention back to yourself. It's not so much about me and what I have to tell you or teach you in the book as it is about you learning about yourself. So I'm asking you to turn inward and giving you tools and resources to do that. So you can you'll be your own best teacher. Okay, so I guess in that sense, these are just materials for yourself as a teacher, for self-study, for self-realization. Okay, so in addition to my own lifelong personal educational experiences, I saw while working as a public school teacher, I was a high school English teacher, how American students are taught to focus primarily on and value what is external. By that, I mean we value time on learning, practical skills and content knowledge in order to compete in an economic landscape, one filled with comparison and a race to some top or end, where we are told we will find happiness and fulfillment, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. We are schooled to achieve, to find happiness and satisfaction once the prize, the award, the grade, the salary, acceptance, or fame is gotten. And then the next and the next and the next and the next. And if we die too soon, the tragedy is that we did not achieve our full potential. Although hard skills and economic survival are critically important, of course, it isn't the entire preparation required for being a good, healthy, whole human being and living a fulfilling and meaningful life, no matter how short or long we're fated to be here. Our education pays lip service to the development of the whole child, when in reality, the institutionalized approach to teaching and learning neglects character development, creative expression, and soft skills. The imbalance in where we pay our attention, outward, more often than inward, is clear when we look at the results. Increasing mental illness, anxiety, obesity, addiction, and other forms of unnecessary suffering that permeate our society. And there's lots of reasons why those things are problematic, in addition to just schooling. We really don't know who we are. We need to focus our attention less on the acquisition of more information and knowledge, and more on developing wisdom. Wisdom is a way of being. It's a cultivated practice that anyone has access to at any time, because it's within you. We teach kids about what to do with their outer lives and how to shape their self-image, rather than showing them how to cultivate who they are as human beings by exploring their inner lives. I saw firsthand as a teacher and parent how school administrators, guidance counselors, and parents were more interested in the achievement of grades and prestigious college admission than time spent learning what it means to become oneself as a human being. It's simply not our priority. Our attention is focused on other things. It's just not important. It doesn't matter as much. So our priorities are what they are because of how our culture has shaped them. We don't value integration and wholeness, perhaps because pain, problem, suffering, and sacrifice are involved in the process of becoming a true person, a person of integrity, authenticity, and uniqueness. It's too hard and uncomfortable. We live in a society where comfort is everything. That's our main goal and purpose, is to stay comfortable. And we'll do anything to preserve our comfort. We fear pain. We're taught to fight it or run away from it. Our nervous systems are built that way. And it's not that we don't need to keep ourselves surviving and to respond to the environment. It's when it becomes excessive, when that sympathetic nervous system of fight flight turns on and stays on chronically. We all know what that leads to: illness, disease, lots of unwellness, lots of ignorance and fear live there. So we are bodies and minds. It's not just values as an intellectual decision that we've made in our prefrontal cortex with our thinking mind. Our nervous systems are tuned to a particular environment and to respond to that environment. So that interoceptive awareness of what's going on within us, in our whole mind, body, being, in our system, is what we'll cover in a lot of these videos. These are the resources that I want to bring to you for your own cultivation of wisdom and wellness. So we've simply not dedicated enough attention and energy to wholeness, being rather than doing, truth and love. Instead, we've conditioned our children to live by primarily relying on their thinking minds in the frantic acquisition of knowledge for material gain, rather than remaining open to listening to and following their heart and soul, their inner being, their inner landscape for wisdom and wellness. So yoga is union. It's the antidote to disconnection. It's the opposite of an outcomes-based education. It's process-oriented. It's mindfulness. It's being in the present moment. But it's also grounding of your nervous system, this nervous system regulation, and interoceptive awareness, all of which I'm going to explain in detail and teach you throughout all of these videos. So, we are all products of our environment. I am too. I wrote an autobiography all about how I was a product of my intellectual left brain life and conditional acceptance and no unconditional love for myself and so forth. So it was a path towards awakening. When I found yoga, very helpful tool for transforming all of that conditional love to more unconditional acceptance and self-love. When I transformed in that way, the world transformed around me. My perspective shift. I interacted with people differently. I had a different relationship with myself, and then that transformed my relationship with others. It is the most important form of social justice, as opposed and in sharp contrast to what we think of as social justice out in the political landscape today. Yeah, we'll get to that later too. All right, so we're products of our environment. Our modern lives are defined by information overwhelm, artificial intelligence, excess, avoiding discomfort and pain at all costs, loneliness and disconnection, and illness rooted in chronic stress. It's more challenging than ever to find balance, connection, peace, and well-being in a place where we are continually bombarded to consume empty values, treated for symptoms rather than causes, and continually manipulated to look outside of ourselves to diets, fitness regimens, self-help industry, and other perceived authorities for answers rather than within our own body, mind, and spirit, getting curious, asking questions, savoring and appreciating, living with uncertainty and questions, and contemplation and curiosity, for loving acceptance and connection. We've been conditioned to not know ourselves by being taught to play roles, wear masks, and pretend rather than to be who we truly are. Thus, we become alien to ourselves because we're so distracted and manipulated to focus our attention on everything and everyone else but our true inner being. As a result, many of us fail to observe and understand our own feelings, our emotions, our sensations in our body. Some of us completely like chickens with our heads cut off. We don't even know we have a body. We're so stuck in our minds. But our culture's conditioned us that way. It's an uphill battle, but that doesn't mean it's impossible and that you can't become more aware and get the tools and resources to do the work of healing. You can do it. It's possible for everybody. Okay, so many of us fail to observe and understand our feelings, behaviors, and thoughts. There's simply no time in the day to take time to slow down and focus inward. Unless we decide that's what we want to do and we make time. Never mind learn how to accept, cope, and leverage them for wellness and a good life. Because we're so busy competing on the external landscapes of life, this is where we find ourselves in this modern landscape, with all its political polarity, with all its disconnection, with all its information overwhelm, with all its frankenfood and shitty food, and lack of exercise, and fake lighting, and work days and economic demands that require we sit in a chair and we stare at screens. This is where we find ourselves. But once we're aware and we wake up to our situation, we can decide how to respond. There are tools and resources for you. Other people like me, many others that I'm going to connect you with, that can teach you to become a learner, a lifelong learner, to learn to live as a human, healthy, and then live to learn. All right. We're not taught how to travel our inner landscapes to learn about who we really are and express our true nature and uniqueness. But through my courses, I will teach you about self-study for self-realization so that you can become your own best friend, therapist, educator, fitness trainer, nutritionist, you name it. You can literally be there for yourself, show up, be present for yourself, and relate to yourself with unconditional love and acceptance. Not to reach any outcome outside of you, but to turn inward and to find that love that exists within you. It's there. Whether you don't believe that, that's fine. That's just a belief that probably needs to change through direct experience. So if you're willing to come on the ride and learn how to study yourself, I'm here for you. I'm going to give you tools and resources in mind, body, health, and I'll give you the support, all the support I can, and encourage you to get support from real bodies and people around you that can help, and give you plenty of links to resources to learn more for what you need. Every person is unique and different. This is not a one-size-fits-all. That's the whole point, is when you start to learn about who you are, you'll realize what resources you need. So I'm going to cast a wide net so that when you do figure out what you need, you can go find what you need, because there's someone for everyone, right? That's true. And there's so many resources out there. I've done all the hard work of casting that net, learning about them, vetting them, high quality, really smart people who are genuine and moral and sharing their wisdom to make all of us better. So I want to connect you with those resources. All right, out there and within yourself, you have them. All right, I'll see you in the next video. We'll continue to get into my book, Classic Wisdom for the Modern Human, a self-study guide for wellness. Available on Amazon, and visit landscapesforlearning.com for the online course version of the book. All right, subscribe and share the video, and I appreciate your attention. I'll see you in the next video.